In January 2025, Donald J. Trump returned to the Oval Office for a second term. He promised a bold agenda, vowing to, make America great again. The first 100 days of any presidency are crucial. They really set the tone and often determine the success of the administration. True to his word, President Trump wasted no time in implementing his vision for America. The president's supporters cheered his decisive actions. They saw it as a fulfillment of his campaign promises. His opponents, however, expressed deep concern over the direction of the country. They argued that his policies were divisive and harmful. The first 100 days have been a whirlwind of activity, leaving many Americans wondering what the next 4 years will hold. President Trump moved swiftly to dismantle the legacy of his predecessor. In his first 100 days, he signed 28 bills into law. A significant number of these bills, nearly half, were aimed at reversing regulations enacted during the Obama administration. Using the Congressional Review Act, which is a tool that allows Congress to overturn recent regulations, the president and his allies in Congress systematically targeted environmental protections, financial regulations, and healthcare provisions. One particularly controversial piece of legislation was the Laken Riley Act. This law, named after a young woman who was tragically killed by an undocumented immigrant, mandates the detention of undocumented immigrants accused of theft or assaulting law enforcement officers. Proponents of the law argued that it was necessary to protect public safety. Critics, however, denounced it as discriminatory and inhumane. The Laken Riley Act became a lightning rod for debate about immigration policy. It really highlighted the deep divisions in American society over how to address illegal immigration. Beyond legislation, President Trump utilized the power of the executive branch to enact sweeping changes. He issued 24 executive orders in his first 100 days, addressing a wide range of issues. Immigration emerged as a central focus of his early presidency. He expanded deportations and detentions, even exploring the possibility of using Guantanamo Bay to house undocumented immigrants. In a controversial move, he invoked wartime powers to justify deporting Venezuelan asylum seekers to El Salvador, a country grappling with its own internal struggles. His administration also cracked down on so-called sanctuary cities that limit cooperation with federal immigration enforcement. On the energy front, President Trump made good on his promise to promote American energy independence. He ended federal support for renewable energy programs, including incentives for electric vehicles. Instead, he prioritized fossil fuels, particularly oil and gas exploration. President Trump's aggressive approach to trade sent shockwaves through global markets. He imposed tariffs on goods from several countries, including China, Mexico, and Canada. These tariffs, which he dubbed Liberation Day tariffs, were intended to protect American jobs and reduce the trade deficit. However, they sparked fears of a trade war and rattled investors. On April 2, 2025, the day after the tariffs were announced, the S&P 500 plunged by 3.9%, its biggest drop in months. The Dow Jones Industrial Average tumbled by 2.7%, while the tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite plummeted by 4.7%. Global markets also reacted negatively, with the FTSE 100 in London falling by 1.6% and the CAC 40 in Paris dropping by 3.3%. The market turmoil continued in the following days, reflecting growing uncertainty about the future of the global economy. The president's actions have been met with a mixed response from the American public. While his base remains largely supportive, his approval ratings have plummeted to historic lows. A CNN poll conducted in late April showed his approval rating at a dismal 41%, the lowest for any president at this point in their term in over 70 years. Public confidence in the economy and his handling of key issues has also waned. Adding to the sense of unease, President Trump embarked on a significant restructuring of the federal government. He appointed tech mogul Elon Musk to head a new Department of Government Efficiency, tasking him with streamlining operations and cutting costs. This led to deep cuts in several agencies, including the Department of Education and USAID, drawing criticism from those who rely on these services. As the 100-day mark passes, all eyes are on what lies ahead for the Trump administration. The president has hinted at plans for a major spending bill, which he aims to have passed by July 4th. This bill, which he refers to as the One Big Beautiful Bill, is expected to encompass infrastructure spending, tax reform, and further border security measures. His foreign policy also remains a topic of intense speculation. The president's America First approach has strained relationships with traditional allies, while his stance on trade has created tensions with key economic partners. The coming months will reveal whether he intends to pursue a more isolationist path, or if he will seek to rebuild bridges with the international community. President Trump's first 100 days have been nothing short of tumultuous. His flurry of executive orders, legislative victories, and controversial appointments have left an indelible mark on American politics and society. While it's still early in his second term, one thing is clear. President Trump is determined to reshape America in his own image. Only time will tell what the ultimate consequences of his actions will be.